Gwan, are you there? What's good? And you know who this is, baby. The number one podcast in America, dedicated to all you kings and queens of color, homies and homettes, shotters, woo gals, G-boys, and charges. The one and only Jerk Jollof and Collard Greens podcast.
Wagwan, are you there? What's good? It's your favorite diasporan, G Ransom, host and humble extrovert of the Jerk Jollof and Collard Greens podcast, joined by fellow host Chunky to deliver a special episode today, bringing in the new year, which you hope your 2022, is off to a great start. But first, on behalf of the entire podcast team, we'd like to thank you, yes, you, our listeners, for all of your support, listens, and feedback throughout our podcast journey. We have a wide array of fresh, new, and completely cultured content in the works of 2022 that we are very excited to share, including more special guest features, added topics inspired by your feedback, and of course, more antics with the fellas, which you've grown to love and know us for. So, in order to align yourself to receive more of our content and everything we have in store, be sure to follow us on Instagram at Jerk Jollof Collard Pod, where you can stay up to date on our latest offerings, announcements, and join the JJC family. Also, be sure to subscribe to the pod on your preferred streaming platform of choice to stay in the know whenever we drop new content. Now, in regards to today's episode, fellow host Chunky and I, along with the aid of the remaining panel, decided to compile our top 10 moments of the podcast from 2021. So just in case you've been living under a rock for all of last year, here are some of the best and brightest moments of the podcast for you to nibble on. All moments mentioned on today's list were picked from full recordings that are still available for your listening pleasure on all major streaming podcast platforms and YouTube. So if there's a clip you like, be sure to check out the entire episode from start to finish. So without further ado, let's chop. Now, the first moment on our list was selected by yours truly, taken from season 2, episode 17, Doubling Down Part 1 with special guest, Allegedly Credible. This clip is titled The Male Moan. No breakdown needed, just listen.
So another point was made by Danielle where you were speaking about some sexual pet peeves. And I know one in particular, which is probably even like a double standard in a way, and we'll get into that with the topic, but you spoke on how you don't like male moaning or like certain male moans or
you
just
want
like
to be quiet.
off.
No.
Just
lay there.
Not that. No.
Elaborate, please.
Okay. I want
Siéntase.
say. No. Some things are okay, but like in the middle of sex, sometimes when it's like, oh yeah, girl, or oh yeah, that feels good, or that feels tight, or certain things, it just automatically turns me off. Like certain things that are said in the
That's
middle
kudos. You should be happy. You're doing a good job.
I was like, so it's
I don't
bad
want,
if
like-
someone says like, girl, you like this penis? You're gonna take this
Yes,
penis
like,
really well?
like, no, like, oh, you want this dick? Like, no, I don't. Like
Like,
it would disturb me. Like, you know how girls are like, oh,
I'm dead.
that is.
Yo, I'm
Certain
literally on
things
the
that
floor
are
right now.
said during sex that it just turns me off automatically. I'm like, all right,
We're
that's
done.
enough. We're done. I'm good.
I mean,
Like,
you've been practicing it for like an entire week.
Hold on. So is there no range of acceptable things that a man can say?
I
Or
mean,
is it just all got? Or he just gotta be hushed?
no,
Yeah, you
you
gotta-
can make noise. You can.
Or is it
make
like a
noise.
tennis match?
You just gotta make it sexy,
Grunt-
bro.
with tennis match,
I think
you
it's
just
gotta be
grunting.
sexy. You gotta make it sound sexy.
Just
Is that what it
grunting.
is?
Like it depends, cause
can't
like
be-
for me, if you're gonna go and say like, "Oh, you look so beautiful," or I don't know, like you feel so good, that's like keep it simple. Like don't go past like, "Oh yeah, I like this tight dick." Like,
Oh my god.
So
Oh my God.
my challenge.
It's so hard right now. What?
Oh god. So I challenge the guys. I want to see like an example. I want to get Danielle's take on what's an acceptable male moan. So
Oh.
since we have a panel
Oh
of
wow.
men, I want to
Oh,
ask
no.
my brothers to impersonate,
Wow.
their best moan in the act,
I'm gonna
and then you can rank us on a scale of 1 to
take
5.
notes today.
Man, that's what we on right now, bro.
Yeah, so
I
we're gonna.
think you
All right,
got. I think you got me all the way
Yeah.
fucked up. If you think I'm moaning,
I got one.
podcast, man.
I got one.
D-Black, go
I got
ahead.
one.
Okay.
Let them know.
Oh damn, girl.
What?
That's it. The old man come out. Oh damn. That's it.
If you made that
I'm
noise, I'd
uncomfortable.
probably laugh. I'd probably bust out laughing. I don't know.
I would
Oh
ask.
my gosh.
No, I'm joking. I'm dead quiet, bro.
So Danielle, Mel, what's your take? Is that on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being acceptable, 1 being turn off?
That's like a 2. I would laugh.
Wow, that's
much.
age discrimination right there.
I just know
That's not bad, actually.
That's age discrimination.
I was like 2 on a scale of 1 to 3. That's amazing.
like
Average.
at the end, right? That's like your moan at the end, like when you're finishing up, right?
No, you never know. Sometimes you might just start like that.
Oh, that's his. That's his
I just know
mid-stroke
that
bag.
I
Okay.
would do that for my health. I'd just be like, yo, like, do you need to take a break? Like,
I need to get some Pedialyte. Hold on.
water.
Maybe I need some water, quick. Hold on.
Oh, God.
I'm back
All right,
around
so
too.
Next, Francis, your go.
Oh,
Represent for
come on,
Nigeria.
bro. Oh man, don't do me.
Your best one.
Oh man. I don't know.
That's what he'll probably do. Nigerian.
We are doing this. Glenn.
Your best one, is that it? The
Let's see. Yeah, girl. Yeah.
Did you see my face like instantly changed?
I'll imagine. I mean, the listeners don't see the motions, but he had to animate.
He
it
actually,
too.
yeah, that was pretty bad.
Wow.
There's some shit in
Wow.
life I don't want
He
to
actually,
see.
I was like,
yeah, you
I
saw
was
the
like-
hands. You saw
I was like,
everything.
yeah.
He
Disturbed.
pushed back in his seat.
Yeah.
Ooh,
what's
that-
your
that would be
judges?
like,
Oh, Sarah gonna kill me,
sorry.
bro.
I'd probably be like, hold up. Like,
See, that's why I don't make any noise.
That's why I'm
See?
quiet. Yeah, that's why
I'm
you gotta be
quiet.
No, but real talk. I feel like there's no way that you can have a sexy man grown. Like, there's no such thing.
Well, let's hear it from the
no. You can.
Yeah.
You can.
Okay, all right. Wait, let's keep. All right, then keep going.
Let's keep going.
Like,
All right, so what would you
Obviously,
rate
we
Francis?
suss at Mo.
Francis, I would have definitely rated it like a 3 because I'm not gonna stop because obviously like you're feeling whatever I got going on, but I'd just be like, I wouldn't.
Don't say it again.
Yeah, don't say it. It's definitely on the decline. Like I'm definitely drying up by each.
Oh, God.
But I
Yo.
give you-
Shout
I
out.
give you, like I definitely support you in your endeavors, but
I appreciate that. You know what? 3 for effort. Thank you.
All right, let's go. Let's hear it from our collard greens part of the group, and I'll go last since I'm the host. You know, I think
Yeah,
I'm
you already know.
Man, you
No,
know
wait till I
Glenn's
gotta
about
go
to.
last.
I know, right? Oh man.
Chunky, let's hear your best male moan.
No.
If that's your entry, we'll have the ladies judge it.
I mean,
Allegedly.
I mean, I was like,
Actually, if I'm gonna be honest, I like being told no. So yeah, that'd be like a that's
The hell?
Oh my God.
I have
Wow.
a question. Where would that even fall into play? Like, where would the no even come in?
I
No,
just-
don't
It's
do
so
it.
weird.
Don't do that.
It's just a random no, and you're like, yeah, I like that.
No.
no.
Oh my God.
like,
No.
okay, like let's say
More to the right.
Okay, wait, guys. Actually, I know where that would come in. Okay, so let's say you know how like you're deep into it and but like you get mad sensitive and it's just like oh my God, this is
yo.
much. And I was like, if I'm like trying to push you off, like this is too much, and you're like, no.
There you
Yo.
go.
Glenn, you see what you started, bro? You see what you
Oh
started?
God, what have
Hey
you
man,
done?
it's
Where-
all in love.
You know what? I
Greg.
agree with that. I give that a good solid 8.
Oh, jeez. Out of 5? Out of 5?
Yo, see the lack
Oh
of
my
effort
God.
gets rewarded. That's crazy.
I know. Wow.
Oh my
I
goodness.
guess.
Don't hate. My wife loves it. It's okay.
Okay, that's the highest score so far.
Yeah,
So we're gonna rate that a 5 then, out of fairness.
What the fuck?
It's on a scale of 1 to 5.
It's not 1 to 5.
Oh shoot. Okay, so then I would have said that as a 4. Okay,
All right, 4.
And that makes sense. It's 80%. That works.
Okay,
All right.
whatever.
Dre.
Nah, I'm not doing that, man. I feel really uncomfortable, man. I feel extremely uncomfortable.
And I respect your feeling of uncomfortability, and I give that a 3.5.
Yo, effort is not
I
blown.
respect
effort has not been. It's been rewarded here.
Stop hating.
Not effort.
It seems like the American men got it down. So y'all Nigerians need to take notes.
Obviously, yeah. You know what?
Just keep it simple. Be true to you.
we like to like follow along with we like to do the things that's been asked of us.
Okay.
I don't.
We
no,
take
wait. Clear that up.
What do you mean? We take
What you
directives.
mean?
Like when we requested to make a sound, we made a sound.
Exactly.
Is that really the sound we make? No. Well, at least for me, I don't make no sound. So
All right.
at
Well,
the end of the day,
Nigeria had its turn.
I hear some jealousy in
ain't
your
nobody
voice.
jealous.
Nigeria had its turn.
I just
Let me
try
show
to.
y'all.
All right, go on, Jermaine.
Let
Come on,
Jamaica show y'all.
Mr. Rubber Waistline. Okay.
Here go.
We know what he's about to do.
I'm gonna silence my mic so I can get a bit better hearing.
Go ahead, boom, 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 boom.
Wrong.
All right, y'all ready? All right. That y'all want. Yeah. That y'all want. Tell me that's not accurate.
I would not know if it's accurate.
I don't make noise. I don't know.
No, but I'm just saying I would not know what
That
Selassie.
last, I can cut everything out except for that last grunt. That last grunt was a little sexy. I'll take that. But I'll cut everything else can
Mr.
go.
Rubber Waistline strikes again.
Wow. So just.
Sounds like you're lifting or constipated. Not sure which one it is, but it sounds the same.
Like an
Oh
episode.
my
Let's see what the
goodness.
lady
Yo,
says.
this is way too juicy, yo. About the,
What's my score? What's my score? Did I take that
up?
up pasta or not?
Yeah, I would give
Yes.
it a 4.
Ooh, that's the crown.
That's like what I'm
Yes.
used to. Like if it let it be natural, you know. I'm pretty sure that we're not having full blown conversations when we're doing the.
What, you don't talk about your
What?
taxes?
I'm about to say taxes is the
Oh,
number
come
one
on.
topic.
Taxes is coming up. I don't.
Like if I was like an accountant and just like, yo, you need to really balance your
Was it
check.
the 1098E or whatever? Make sure that's done correctly. You skipped a line.
Yo, this is
Yeah.
cuz we did this all wrong, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad my
I
mom said
think
she not listen to these episodes.
Based
bro.
on the scores, so based on the scores,
Oh my God.
correct me if I'm mistaken. In this episode of Legendary Moaning,
Oh,
Jamaica
Oh wow.
Jerk ranks first, 4.7. Collard greens to the contribution of Chunky
None.
part.
Really.
That was a 4.
Why you
strong 4.
mad, bruh?
I'm
No,
not
I,
And
mad.
Nigeria.
I gave Chunky a 5. Chunky was a 5 for me.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
let's say-
And I got a 3.5. So
I
what's
don't
up?
know, but he
It's the
was
bald
bad.
head that's doing
I'm
it.
just
That's
saying.
what it is. It's the bald
All
head
right,
that's
so-
doing it.
And then collard greens won. You know,
they did.
luckily, sex is not all about the moaning; it's about the
Right.
performance too.
Yeah, it's about the
Actually, I'm gonna share one thing. So I'm gonna share one thing. When I was with this guy and we were having sex, and in the middle of it, it was feeling like too much for me. So I was like trying to push him off, like, okay. And then he was like, he said, "Don't fucking touch me." And when he said that, I just was like, psh, 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 everywhere. I was like, okay, good, everything. So that's
Wow.
what that was good for me. Like that was great.
Yo, you like violence. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. She likes
I-
a man's man.
You like violence.
He
So
has an
different
interest,
shows.
A relationship with control, and when that control on her side gets taken, like she just likes being vulnerable because it doesn't really happen very often. Would you say so?
I agree. Okay, what's the next
Wow.
question?
Well,
The panel was left in awe by this next clip, also a throwback taken from season 1, episode 3, Being Black in Corporate. This one's titled These Awkward Food
I
Runs.
just one job, like I just started. It wasn't that long ago. I was kind of breaking into this industry on the pharmaceutical side, and this dude was mad cool. He was like the homie of homies, and because he's from, he was a Caucasian dude from the South, he would be super comfortable, and he would be able to feel like he would be able to, like, yeah, I'm from the gutter and whatever. He was never really like, using corporate language, I should say, right? So he talked to me like he was from somebody else from the hood, like somebody who grew up in the hood, like right next to me. And then one day he just got real comfortable and we was like, chilling, and he was like, "Oh, we're gonna order some food." I was like, "Yeah, let's get some wings from so and so." He's like, I got you my N-word," and I was like,
Whoa. Man.
How did
But
how
mind
did that
you,
make you feel?
Real quick.
what'd you say?
So how did that make you feel?
I was, and that's what I'm saying, and that's a tough situation because of the fact that he's not even my boss. He's like my boss's boss.
Wow.
Mm.
So he's like so many levels above me, and the fact that I really, really was like, I mean, I've been grinding trying to get into this, to this gig, and I finally got something. It's like, am I really about to call this dude out with the potential of losing this opportunity that I really, really want? I mean, it's funny too because like he said it, and we both locked eyes, like.
He's like, can I get a pass?
Yo, I mean, like, can you complain that to like? Isn't that maybe a situation to like report to HR possibly?
Yeah, is it more so like he gets a pass for his positional authority, or is it one of those things where he's just like, I don't care what your position is, I'm going to tell you that this ain't right?
Yo, that's actually a really good question because, like, in his situation, he was actually just like, I'm pretty sure maybe back in, where he from, and like he probably would like say it with other people, and it probably was cool, and he got super comfortable with me. So it was like he kind of used it. I know we got this segment coming up, got that N-word coming up segment coming up. We're gonna talk about it deeper there, but it's kind of like he used it as a form of endearment, right? I mean, so I could definitely tell he wasn't trying to be malicious with it, but at the end of the day, it's like, you still don't know me like that.
Man, he's like, man, you thought y'all were cool like that.
Yeah. So how did you leave it? Were you just like how did it end?
Yo, I was like, I sat there I was like, we literally locked eyes. So I know he said it. He knows us. He knows I heard him, but I tried to play it off like I ain't hear nothing, bro. I just like, what you say? And he was like, yeah, let's get the wings. I was like, all right, bro.
I mean, it is true. I mean, I wonder, I was trying to think about what I would do if I was in that situation. It is tough because it's either you laugh it off like you did and just kind of and move on with your business, or you internalize it and you make it bigger than what potentially.
I mean, I think it's already a big situation.
So it could go either way.
I think you address that person to the side. Sorry, go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's one of those like really difficult situations. I know everyone on Twitter acts like they'll be, Malcolm X and everyone else, right, and ready to punch him in his face and tell him like, I don't give a about this job, you, and you know what I mean. Like I know everyone online has this bravado of like if that happens, like this is what they would do. And yeah, that has to be like a really awkward situation. I'm sure probably the way that you looked at him probably made it very clear to him that like you felt weird about him saying that, and I'm guessing he didn't say it again to you.
Yeah, that was last time.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe he calmed himself, but yeah, that had to have been like
he tightened up.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done. Again, like in my head, I think we all have like what we think we would do in those situations, but like I
know what I would do.
You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where I think I'd like to know what I do in that situation, but I guess it's like one of those things, right, where unless you're in that situation, like you may not really know how you're gonna
so I'll pose this, right? So being that you're now in a professional setting like D Black, and it's just like, well, I have more to lose than I do to gain by approaching a situation. So there's a different metrics in weighing it out in a sense that, well, if I say something, will there be retaliation back to me being that he's so many levels up? Or if I say something, it's pretty much saying that that's not cool. But I think the way that he handled it in the sense that he gave him that look, which goes back to a stigma of being a black man. Like everyone on this podcast has that look, that black man look. Like if you do it again, I'm going to hold you up by your ankles and drop you off the side of this building.
That's the black man death stare.
So this third moment on our list was taken from season 3, episode 28, Roses Are Red, Violets Are Blue. You Do You, Boo Boo, hosted by Chunky, where I learned that some lessons truly come with great cost. This clip is titled, My Expensive Date. Enjoy.
Well, I guess I'll go on to mine. Definitely not one of my highlight reels, but similar to D, this young lady actually approached me, right? So I invited said young lady on a date, and at this point, I was probably just coming into some level of financial stability. This is like a couple years after college. Everybody's broke and broken and destitute after that. So, but anyways, met this nice little Caribbean shorty. You know, she was mostly assimilated, but you know, still super petite. Not that that was my preference, but that's how the stars aligned that night. But I have a question for y'all. When planning a date, like planning where to go, do you ever take the woman's size into consideration? Like, okay, I can only go. Yelp says, you know, 3 stars. She's 6'5". I'm gonna go to the 2-star spot instead. You know,
That's a mistake.
No,
Because I'm gonna tell you why. Well, first
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that's a mistake because that's a very dangerous statement to be making in 2021. But I will say that just by going off of someone's size is not an indicator of how much they can eat. So you got to be very careful with that. I've seen kind of the smallest people eat the most. Yeah.
Bro, super petite, as I said. And like I said, not my preference. It's just the tarot cards had it online for me, right? So basically, took her on a date, figured let's go somewhere, you know, a little fancy, not too fancy. So I went to a nice little Italian spot, a suit and tie situation, you know, where some things are market price. You don't find out how much it costs till you get the bill. So this wasn't like date number 1 either. This is like date number 2. So I already told her, like, you know what? It's on me. I'm putting the bill tonight. You know, let's do this. Not that she paid for the bill in the first date anyway, but I felt like I could be a little bit more open. I mean, let her know, okay, you know, order what you want. You know what I mean? But here's my thing, yo. Courtesy 101. If somebody comps your meal, that doesn't mean that you can just order whatever the hell you want to order.
You know what I mean? You gotta be prepped for that though. You can't say I got you and just be like, oh no, I got you up until this point.
Rule number 1 from my dad: don't take someone out to dinner if you can't pay for the whole thing, no matter what they get.
Okay. Nah, it's a fact though. Like even if you're like corporate world, if you get your meal comp, if you're taking a client out or a client takes you out, you're not gonna order the tomahawk market price. You know what I mean? You're not gonna order the twin king lobster. You know what I mean?
not?
Why
wouldn't you? It's paid for. Like,
It's paid for.
Let me get the $3 burger.
What?
Like,
you got an allowance.
You don't
$100 for dinner,
but you don't order too expensive. You know what I mean?
Nah.
This place is already expensive. Like you gotta order in the middle. You know what I mean?
But like you, I think you set yourself up. Like you picked an expensive place.
I picked something nice, but not too nice. Let's be real. Nice, but not too nice. You know,
that's probably the best strategy. It's more based on location. You should really focus on where you're going, so that way you can control the price.
Jersey is like everything's expensive in Jersey, bro. Unless I'm taking you out for like a slice of pizza or something. You know what I mean? Even that's expensive. But anyway, back to the story though. So it wasn't like, all right, I had an idea, okay, the price could be somewhere within this range, but yo, she went straight Anthony Bourdain, parts unknown on the ordering, bro. Like she was ordering food just to order food. And I'm like, yo, there's no way you're gonna eat all this. Like, are you trying
taking it back to the crib?
Bro, she was trying to sample the entire menu. It got to the point where the waiter was like, more food? And I'm like looking at it like, yo, she was ordering food when I wasn't even at the table. Like I would go to the bathroom, put in more orders. So I was just like, yo, I was like, you know what? I wasn't trying to be like the angry dude. I was like, if I react too harshly, I'm gonna lose in this situation. And then at the same time, I'm gonna lose how my image looks, and I'm gonna lose this date. But at that point, I was like, yo, you over ordering behind my back. You ordering meals upon meals upon meals. You trying to be Mark Ween, sample the world. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, I was like, at that point, I was trying to make up every excuse to end the date. I was like, I left the stove on. I was happy sitting right now, yo. And then like she was like, oh, word. All right, let me order something to go then. I was like, nah.
What? To go?
You
like,
I have a question.
Glenn. Okay, go ahead, Dre.
Do you remember how much the bill was?
Bro, I'm about to get to that. Because I even remembered, it's ingrained to memory till this day because it will always be like a red flag to me. Like, yo, if I ever go on a date again, I will never, in total, I remember it was like somewhere along 700 and change for 2 people.
What?
Right?
Yo. 700?
She ordered 4 appetizers, 2 entrees, 4 drinks. Half of this was behind my back, and that's just her half, right?
Did she ate all of it, or was there leftover?
She didn't eat shit. She sampled one, and then had the audacity to want to order food to go home, and I was like, nah.
Hold up.
Wait, here's the kicker though. You know what she told me when I told her that's enough? She was like, oh, word. Oh, it's okay. I just wanted to see how much you let me order. I was like, what? So no cap. So I was like, no lids here, bro. There's no cap at all. No hats, no nothing. no covers. Like this is just raw. So I was just like, yo, are you serious? I was like, yo, if I wasn't the gracious man that I was, your ass would be taking a taxi right now, you know? And at that point, Uber and Lyft didn't even exist. And where we were, it was like, yo, good luck finding a cab. You know what I mean? And she didn't come with any money. Bro, she didn't come with any money at all. So literally, as soon as I dropped her home, I didn't even see her to the door. I just said, yo, you good? I bet. Peace out. I blocked her on every platform I could find, bro. Even platforms that didn't even exist. I blocked her.
Oh, like, did anybody took the leftover home?
Bro, they sat there.
No, what? Nobody took the leftover home.
Bro, I was so disgraced. I was like, I don't want to see this food. I don't want one I don't want one like memoir. I don't want anything to remember this night. I was just like, yo, I wanted to end.
I would have took that home.
I would took my leftover.
I paid for that.
Like,
it's coming home with me.
I thought you was gonna say like $300 or $400. I was gonna be like, oh man, you're not tripping. That's crazy. No, that's crazy.
I think that's the risk you run. We just like you can order whatever you want, and I'm gonna go to an expensive place. Like knowing your levels and boundaries. If it was me, I would have been like, all right, you can order whatever you want, but we go to McDonald's. I gotta check my financial status before I get there. If I take you somewhere where it's like market price stuff, I'm gonna let you know right now. Like, listen, I only got $400 to spend. It's on you. Like, we
would have been washing dishes, man. We would have been washing dishes out there.
For real. Because it's like at the end of the day, what doesn't matter about your image? Now you just going into debt or you can't pay for something. Like that person's not worth that at the end of the day.
I'm probably still paying for that meal to this day.
Yeah, emotionally. Like it's still got a grip on you.
Apparently.
Shout out to Anthony O'Neill on IG. I don't know if you guys know Anthony O'Neill, but he actually just even posted something recently about, especially a single man, that you should have a budget for, like, even especially for dates. And if the date doesn't agree with it, surely that's a sign that you shouldn't go on a date with her in the first place. So you have to like know you have a boundary that you set. And if the girl's not even for it, then you already know she needs to kick rock. So like, the girl has to respect that boundary. And that's
well, she a winner where she's like, I'll pay the other half. Like, yeah, I want to go out and have fun. I'm coming to the table.
Exactly. Well, and that could work too. But the point of it is really just setting boundaries and setting. It's more for like a budgeting standpoint to make sure we don't go broke and get ourselves a $700 date.
Her ideal was, and that's just wrap it up on my end. Like, I just wanted to see how much I could order, and I'm like, I don't know if that's like some kinky shit that you're into. Like some people like to get choked and get manhandled, but I'm just like, yo, you don't play that kind of game like on a date where you're still trying to make an impression and still trying to make things work. Like to me, you're gonna do that with everything now, and that wasn't cool. So
I think
she got chopped.
That's communication, right? So it's just like you felt one way about the date, she felt a different way, and y'all both came in thinking two different ideas. But I mean, at that age, we really don't know, and it seems like you learned the hard way, and it's carrying 20 years later.
And that's one thing.
Learned today.
I'm happy with it
today. So imagine somebody like that too, because if she's willing to stretch you as far as possible on the very first interaction, bro. Imagine like years after, bro. She's like, I took 10 flights just because. I took 10 flights to get there just because. Like, bro.
Bank account gaping, bro.
Run away. Run the opposite direction.
I guess that rolls into red flags.
Yep.
So
if she asks you to pay for everything,
we already got one.
I just want to see how much I could order.
That's all right.
And on that note, I'll be turning over to fellow host Chunky to deliver the next set of classic moments on behalf of the pod. Deuces for now. Chunks, take it away.
Thanks for the pass, Glenn. It's me, your co-host Chunky, to cover some more of the top moments in the podcast from 2021. Out of those three, I would say my favorite would be the most expensive date. Never have I ever spent that much on a date, let alone groceries. It's been a fun season with the guys on the pod, and I'd like to thank you all again for listening and tuning in. Once more, your feedback is important to us so we can provide more topics you like to hear, provide suggestions on what you enjoy the most, and overall, to stay engaged with us. We enjoy the comments on social media, so keep them rolling. But before I start, make sure you are telling your friends, your family, and even your coworkers about us. Let's run it. The next selection on our list was taken from season 2, episode 20. What would you do? Titled, Smashing on Alien Yam. What would you do if you met an alien?
Run? What you mean?
He said run?
I'm not
All right.
sticking around to find out.
Like the anal probe alien, or like, what's going on?
You don't know until you meet him. I don't know.
ET, like
it could come off as ET and may want to like anal probe you later. I don't know.
What's gonna happen tonight?
It's an alien. It's a full blown like you are not a human being type alien.
Okay, well for me, I mean that'd be a dream because I'm so infatuated with outer space and all those types of things. So you asking scientists about
he's gonna try to
your butthole.
Procreate. He's like, can we procreate? He's like, what kind of holes you got? What gender are you technically?
The logical side of me says that if they've made it all the way here, that there's nothing I could do to get away from them. So to me, it's about trying to, right?
That's
like if they come from some other, this guy Francis is Usain Bolt now all of a sudden or whatever. Like if they came here from another world, there is nothing that I could do to get away from them. So
you gonna lay down and just take it, bro?
I'm not gonna lay down and take it, but we
Dre's
gotta have
ready
a
for the probe.
conversation. Why do we always assume that aliens are like gonna come here and destroy us? Like why does that always
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to have a conversation with them. I'm not just gonna assume that they're gonna anal probe me or whatever weird stuff you guys always think about with this stuff. Like,
literally,
Dre's ready to take smoke from an alien, but not from a bird.
Literally, if they came here, there's nothing I'm gonna be able to do to get away from them. I don't own a gun, and I don't even think a gun would hurt them. Right? Like literally, they probably have like.
That's what you think.
Shoot me. All right, Chunky, it's so tough, man. I don't think an alien in front of you, Mr. Rah-Rah tough guy. I feel like you may.
I'm not gonna run like Francis. I'm like, oh,
I'm running.
Like no, I'll be like, oh shit, it's an alien.
Francis,
You're like, oh shit, it's an alien.
How do you think you're gonna get away? They came for millions of light years
but
away.
We don't really know their transportation ways of transportation. How you think
the alien called it Uber?
What are you talking about? Their ways of transportation.
Talking about how did they get here?
I just said that word.
Intergalactic Uber.
Take me to the
Intergalactic lift.
Wow.
What is this?
I mean, I'll jump on D's bandwagon. I'm trying to procreate. Like, what's
Why? What do you mean, D? I didn't say nothing about no
He didn't
procreation.
say anything about that.
Hey, Glenn, I heard him say procreate. I heard it.
Me too. I heard him say
Man, I'm done with
Say, yo, what kind of holes?
Y'all won't be like my cousins.
I'm so infatuated to see those holes.
Whatever.
I'm about to die.
I want them alien yams. What they got?
You see them yams? You see those alien yams?
Oh wow, you're reckless, man.
Yeah,
I'm
so
straight.
reckless, bro.
Yo,
Anyway, like I said,
only Glenda. We already know what Glenda is.
Like I said, I stand firm in my position.
Oh, you stand firm on them yams?
How many galaxies did you come for this?
I think it'd be cool to kind of see like where they from, what they about. But you know what's so funny? I think in a natural sense, human beings, like we naturally, if we don't understand something, we tend to dissect it. So I think they really might probe some of us though. Like take us apart or some junk. But that got real dark. Damn.
I got questions. That's all. I got questions. First
All
one,
right.
D, what kind of holes you got?
Whatever.
I'm trying to procreate. Alien yams. Can we hashtag that?
No.
Shorty got yams.
That alien got yams.
Yeah, that Shorty alien got yams.
That AY, alien yams.
Yo, it's
Wait.
my cousin.
To all the aliens listening, Dre, DeAndre has no parts of any of this. I see you guys coming in peace.
Yo,
Glenn, I will share with you his address, the way to contact him.
you want the yams?
This guy was saying all that stuff. I'll be
I
one
see, I got you.
peace.
Yo, I see Glenn sending pictures like, yo, you see those yams?
I'll be the man recording it. You see them yams? You see those alien yams?
Yas, what's with this infatuation with aliens? Yams? What is this?
Bro, you sounded really excited when the alien question dropped.
Because I already told you guys, the scientist is the equestrian in me. That's all.
It's the alien yams that I'm worried about.
I'm done.
Yo, we had too much fun with that question.
Next one.
Oh my god.
Oh
All
my
right, all right.
I'm about to die. Yo, I got that from my cousin.
I'm gonna bring it back down like a couple of notches. Okay. Would you rather be a deep sea diver or an astronaut?
I know what D Black's gonna deep sea dive.
He's I'm gonna bring it back down now. I'm gonna ask a space question. Whatever, I ain't answering this one. I pass. I'm done.
You can't pass. You gotta answer it.
Well, obviously I'll be an astronaut, so get off me.
Yo,
Get off me. I like space.
I'm crying, bro.
I like space.
I'm
Right?
in tears right
Okay,
now.
yeah. You sure you do, D.
I'm so infatuated.
Oh my god.
Yo.
Oh, I'm done. Anybody else got any kind of
Yo, can you,
interest?
yo,
Or
can you,
deep
can
sea
you,
diving
yo, can you
in
ask the
water?
question again, please, in a very nice, calm voice without laughing?
No. Would you rather be a deep sea diver or an astronaut?
Bro, that question sounds so sus.
How is that sus?
Oh my god.
What is sus?
I'll be
about that
an
question?
astronaut. For sure.
Cool.
I know because you're talking about yams, bro. Y'all are nasty, man. Get your mind off the gutter. Yo, somebody else, please.
Dre?
I'd be astronaut. The ocean really scares me for some weird reason. I have like a unhealthy fear of like being stranded in the ocean. So
Oh,
I couldn't
wow.
imagine what lies beneath the ocean. I don't want no parts of that. I'd rather be in space and.
I was gonna say octopus.
I can't swim, so
What is all these yams? I don't get it.
yo, we back to that. Yo,
Oh my god.
Yeah,
yo.
underwater. That WAP is underwater.
Yo.
I'm
Guys,
done.
We are recording.
Exactly.
Too much. And this is the most I've laughed in like at the same time in the podcast.
Oh, y'all done?
Yeah. Yo, I feel like I missed out. I missed out.
Let's
on so
be
many
real.
laugh-
If a bunch of guys ran into some aliens, bro, the first thing they want to know is what them yams be about.
Oh, you!
That's the last thing on my
that's-
list.
yeah.
What are you
I'm
talking
running.
about?
I'm running, bro. I told you what I'm doing.
Like, is this the end of human civilization? What is that? That's all the
we
thing
I'm
procreated with
running.
them yams.
You ain't getting my black butt.
I didn't even know y'all genetically compatible.
I'm like ass.
About to find out.
This one was very enlightening to us and will also be for you all as well. It was taken from season 2, episode 19, with our guest, Dr. Cynthia Northern Purdy, titled Dr. C's Keys.
What are some steps we can follow daily to preserve or improve our mental well-being? And whether that's receiving therapy or out of therapy, like what are some practices that we can follow daily?
Before even seeking therapy, we need to be, as a people, we need to become aware of ourselves. It's interesting. I went to church today, and the pastor said this, and it totally freaked me out. I said, "Oh, that's exactly what I want to say tonight." That you got to check in with you before you can check in with the world. You know, we jump out of bed, we jump in the shower, we jump. We drive around. You know, you're talking to people, you're on the phone. We need to check in with ourselves the first time, as soon as we open our eyes. I'm not talking about prayer, although awesome, but even if that's not your orientation, if you could just not even meditate, although that's also amazing, just think about yourself. I'm awake. Today is whatever day it is, and just take inventory of your body. How do I feel today? You know, how do I feel about getting out of the bed and going about my day? How do I feel? What do I want to happen today? Do I like myself this morning?
No, that's a
Because
fact.
some mornings you wake up and you're disappointed with yourself. It's like, oh man, you know. So first, that's your first step. That's your first step. And it's also been advised now that the best thing to do as far as your body and your mind are concerned is make sure that you are hydrated first thing in the morning. That we usually, and I'm guilty of it, I drink coffee first thing in the morning, but it is actually recommended by many physicians that you drink water first thing, just to flush it all out, just to flush, and it's supposed to, we see something so simple, but it actually has calming and antidepressive qualities, just remaining hydrated. Because when we wake up in the morning, you're dehydrated. You haven't had anything to drink for hours. And the little drink you had was probably not very good for you. So yeah, you need to rehydrate, take stock. It doesn't even need to take long, like 5 to 7 minutes. Just breathe and think about it. Think about yourself. And then you can then concentrate on someone else. Next steps. Make sure that the people that you interact with, because you have to interact with them, make sure that you interact with them in a way that honors you and your principles. Everybody that we interact with is not on our side. And yet we have to deal with them because we have to work with them. You have to make sure that the way that you interact with them honors you.
Amen.
Not them. See, but no, I'm saying that because as Black people, we tend to, I don't know if this is left over from the plantation or what, but we're people pleasers. We're entertainers. We're looking at people's faces. Oh, he's laughing. Great. The person that we should work the hardest to make happy is ourselves. And in the Black community, we look at that and say, oh, you're so conceited and selfish, and but other populations don't do that. They don't do that, and we vilify. Oh, who do they think they are? They believe that they are somebody. 30 years ago, Jesse Jackson, what was it, 30 years ago? Jesse Jackson used to, have people chanting, I am somebody. He did that for a reason. Because a lot of Black folks are walking around feeling like they're nobody. You ever felt like that?
Yeah. Well, what about the people that, I don't know. It's funny because I feel like sometimes I see people that maybe think a little bit too much of themselves. And that kind of infringes on maybe like.
What do you see? You would have to be more specific.
Okay. I can't think of and I guess I can't think of a specific person right now. But so I don't know. I feel sometimes I see people in communities, I guess in society, not community, in society, that maybe they think that they are better than they are, and then they kind of are more boisterous than other people, like they
you don't know what they're thinking. First of all, we presume to say you think we don't know what a person is thinking. And it's been my experience that people who go out of their way to present themselves as superior, they do so because they feel inferior. You pretty much, you see this 40-year-old man walking around like he's all this and all that. It really turns out that they act that way because they're intimidated perhaps by your expertise.
6-1 up is from episode 9 from season 1, Dueling Diaspora, titled Battle of the Side Dishes. By the way, what's your favorite side dish? Let us know.
Side dish amongst Jamaicans, Nigerians, and Americans. Who has the best side dish?
Bruh, first of all, as Nigerians, we got so many side dishes, okay? It's not just one side dish.
But he said best side dish.
Yeah, but then if you got multiple side dishes that are the best, Chucky, you can take an L right there.
You already lost.
You already lost.
Francis, no one's talking to you, Francis. So stay in your corner.
I'm Nigerian.
Stay in your box.
What's your side dish? What's your one that you guys gonna put up? I guess you and Francis gotta fight it out.
Man, that's hard. That's so hard. I want to say dodo, which is. But that's the same thing. That's plantain for
plantain.
We got plenty of side dishes.
Latin.
Come on,
let's go.
I can't use that one.
Plantain is fire, bro.
I'm gonna have to say,
what about meat pie or?
Oh my gosh, that's another. I'll say FR. I really like some really good, well-made FR, which is like it's like spinach, I guess. If it's like spinach but fried up, and then you could put like dried shrimp in it. You could put like ham in it. Everybody kind of does it a little bit different. Turkey in it. It's it's healthy, air quote healthy.
Is that a side though, or is that just like an accompaniment in an
Isn't that what a side is? Something that you eat with something else?
Yeah, but you gotta pick one. You can't just be giving us the whole menu. You gotta pick one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm stomach growling.
Francis, what do you got?
Because me and Chunky ready to go. We ready to let it
loaded.
Yo, they represent Nigeria, right? You got two Nigerians, one Jamaican.
All right, cuz I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna take Dodo. You can take another one.
I was gonna say Dodo is. I mean, I was just in Puerto Rico, and Dodo is huge in Puerto Rico. It's on pretty much on every dish that they have out there. So I would probably say Dodo or I would say meat pie, which is somewhat.
That's a side dish.
Pick one.
It's
I'll go
with Dodo.
Oh, because you gonna take Dodo? Fine, I'm gonna switch mine up.
No, it's Dodo. It's Dodo.
We're on the same team.
You can't take me both.
No, that's it.
Guys are representing Nigeria.
Well, we are
agreed.
Nigeria.
Exactly.
Dodo.
We're repping Nigeria.
Damn.
Come on, Shella. That was my cue.
One dish per diaspora.
Oh my god.
Damn, bro.
Fine.
Children.
So y'all saying plantain, basically, fried plantain.
No, don't downplay
that's
like
it.
that.
That's it.
Don't downplay like that. He said basically fried plantain. Right?
Man, Glenn, what you got? Patties or what?
Green plantain. Well, patty is like the cheeseburger of Jamaica, but elevated so much more because it is so decadent. So I would say our side dish.
I roll.
Cocoa bread. I would say yard food.
Cocoa bread.
If you never had yard food before, yard food basically is like boiled yam, sweet potato, dumpling. It's just like the whole gamut. That's a sustenance right there. We eat for sustenance, right? We want to eat
a
that
side dish.
That's multiple things.
That's the main thing. No, that's the center of the dish.
No, what is wrong with you people?
What counts?
Yo, this is an appetizer, bro.
Okay.
I feel confident.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead.
Get him.
Baked mac and cheese.
Bam! That shit stands on its own.
Baked mac and cheese.
You ever had mac and cheese in that same?
A proper side dish. I don't gotta explain nothing. Everybody has had it. And oh man, just baked mac and cheese. Oh,
some people are lactose.
I can't lie. He kind of got that.
That sounds like a personal problem.
A lot of people can't eat it, bro. Stop.
I know people who are lactose intolerant who will still eat it.
It's worth it. It is worth it.
That's our side.
Well,
baked mac
I would say.
Our side.
Well, we got baked mac and cheese too, but I wouldn't say it's like
it's not
jerk mac and cheese.
Well, that's put jerk
Rasta
on.
pasta. Get that out
I
of
put
here.
Pasta pasta is not a Jamaican dish.
But it's fire.
Pasta pasta is jerk Alfredo. Rasta don't
jerk Alfredo.
Yo, cuz we also have.
No, you're done. You're done. No more side dishes.
Suya.
No.
Yes,
okay, no. Hold up.
We having a conversation, bro.
Say yours.
Once again, get back in your box, Francis.
What's yours, Chunky? What's yours, Chunky?
I'm about to
It's an agreement. We just said mac and cheese. Where were you?
We messaged privately. We on the same chord.
No, you didn't.
I gotta say, let's vote it down. I would say if I had to eat one side dish, I'd probably choose the mac and cheese. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
Like
plantain over dodo.
I mean, if it came down to one thing,
Selassie, with your sensitive stomach, you really about to pick the mac and cheese?
Yep.
I'd risk all that constipation and lactose intolerance.
How you day, everybody? What's good? It's the original originator, Nigel's Prince in the West, Mr. Fine Boy, no pimples. It's the one and only D Black in the building. Now, I know you already have a hard time picking your favorite moments, like your name is the franchise, and I'm not here to make you rage out and lose your top like Chunky at a Taylor Swift concert. But the Godfather, Dre Supadre, sent me here to bless you with these remaining top moments. So like a much needed hot bowl of pepper soup on a cold winter day, let me try to slide in here as smooth as the rubber waistband man, Mr. G Ransom, and bring these moments to your ear. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into these clips highlighting my favorites from season 1, where it all began. Roll it. So this is one of my favorite clips from season 1, episode 2, Cancel Culture, entitled Macaroni Heart. You know what it is.
Nah, like her homie's gonna be like, oh, what'd you get for your Valentine's Day? Oh, her homie's gonna be like, yeah, I got a necklace. What'd you get? Oh, Chunky made me a macaroni freaking heart. They're like,
Yeah, but that's not how she gonna say it. She gonna be like, oh, girl, like my man is so thoughtful. He made me this thing. Like it's she not gonna just say he made me a macaroni heart.
Do they really go behind the scenes and talk about this? Like, are they really going back behind the scenes and comparing gifts? Like, yo, we got you.
Yo, I mean, girls talk, bro. Yeah.
Does it matter at the end of the day? As long as you do what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
You know, like, I mean, I think
like, you want dinner?
Listen, man. And what Dre's saying is, it's all about your love language, right? And like, if her friends' husbands brought this or brought that, and she's the only one in the group that I sat down and I made something. I took the time out of my day, figured it out. Didn't say, oh, what's the special on K Jeweler today? Let me just pick this out. There's a 1,000 reviews on it, but like, okay, cool. It's me and my macaroni heart. I use little crayons to draw other stick figures on it. That shit's gonna happen. So you, D Black.
Oh, man. You know what? I might even just but like real talk, I might steal that from Chunky because that's real. You know, you can save a buck with that idea.
I mean, it's thoughtful, you know, and it's creative.
Buck and lose a marriage.
You need to know your wife. Don't be having to call Chunky and say, "Yo, Chunky, can I sleep on your couch this week?" Because
I mean, hey, that's cool.
I already know
macaroni heart with you.
Listeners, let us know. Make a macaroni heart for your lady next, or make for your lady or your man next Valentine's. Let us know how that works out for you.
This next one is taken from season 1, episode 6, from our Let's Be Real series, The Role of Men in Relationships. We call this one Emotional Awareness. Enjoy.
And with processing that, my objective is to do better tomorrow, to do better next month, to do better as the marriage carries on. And like I said, if that's being called simping, it's just like, you got me up. Because it's just like, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm treating you like an honorable person. It is my privilege to serve you as my wife. And if someone calls me a simp for that, kick rocks. Because it's like, I have a good marriage and relationship, and I'm consistently trying to build. Just because you're up, don't come over here and fuck my shit up. Just like another slide in the DM, don't fuck up my shit. I feel some type of way.
Some people just trying to test like how strong your shit is, especially when they see you're in a relationship. They're like,
yeah. All right, but how strong is your back before I lift you up over my head and bang you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's not super violent, but I'm just gonna say what all or some aggressive men say, like, it's okay to feel some type of way. It's okay to have an emotion. This stereotype of men having to be this stoic individual, that's in the past.
All right. Coming up next, we have a clip from season 1, episode 3, Working While Black and Being Black in Corporate America, titled G Ransom on Defending Your Lady's Honor. What a guy.
Get on the engine transit train, and these kids from Philly are on there just lighting up. I mean, every curse you could imagine, bro. And I know you guys have met my girl, but y'all don't really know her, but I know D Black, you met her after your wedding.
She does.
Like, she has say something tatted on her lower back. I swear to God. Like, she's like a human spell check. So she will correct you.
Neighborhood watch.
So these kids are letting it fly on the train. They're talking about F this, F that. This kid sounded like he was 10 years old, and she's looking at me, and I see like her temperament just slowly increasing, like she can't hold it in anymore. So I'm like, please don't say nothing to these kids. Like, we only got 3 stops. Like, let's just let these 3 stops go, and we just get off the train. We don't ever have to see them again. But nah. So she started letting it loose. She was like, excuse me. You guys can't be talking all this nonsense on the train. So I'm like, yo, you don't know how many kids there are. And if they're already going this ratchet, then like, real talk, they don't really care about us. So I'm just like, yo, I don't want this to turn into no race situation. Next thing you know, I got like 5 kids on the NJ Transit train. So I'm like, yo, chill. But yo, she has like no barometer at all, man. So I'm just like, yo, we on the train. They're like, now they're going back and forth. And I'm like, yo, Kim, relax, yo. Like, just let it rock. Like, don't worry about it. We're almost off this train. And now the conversation's getting worse. And now that they see that she's getting tight, they're like, all right, word, she's pissed. So now we're gonna start talking even more ratchetness. And this kid's talking about his little affairs with some dude. And we're like, oh boy, he's throwing out all the details on his little sescapades. So we're just like, yo, kids, y'all don't want none, like, real talk. So I'm like, yo, we got to our stop, and next, we're pretty much just darting off the train, because I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to stop no kids out on this train right now, man. But
so basically, she's trying to get you jumped, murdered.
Basically, And that's not even the first time. That's like one of many times. I'm like, yo, babe, like I appreciate you. Like I'm kind of even keeled too, but I'm like, yo, you're gonna get me into some situations I'm gonna have to fight my way out of. And it's like,
Last but not least, we bring you a clip from season 1, episode 4. I want to be famous, even if it kills me. Titled, "Hey D Black, what's the silhouette challenge?" Honestly, I still really don't know what it is. Just play the clip.
Even start off with the silhouette challenge. I think that was a blessing. That was one of the good ones. No,
I mean, know somebody that's doing it.
Well, so you find out your sister's doing it, and I'm like, oh, I found out my sister did one. And I'm like, hold up, I'm snitching. I was like, anybody I know.
That's a no-no for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have the approach with anything on social media is that there's good and there's bad, right? There's I want to say that like the first, and maybe you'll talk about this, but I want to say like the first challenge I remember online was the ice bucket challenge. So that was like a good one, right? That was for, I want to say it was for
ALS,
you know, thing. So that was a cool one. But then then there's other ones like the Tide, when people were eating Tide Pods or whatever, right? That was probably a bad one. So I guess I just look at it, it just balances out, right? It could be good or bad. But yeah, you know, I will say that I will admit that what some of those silhouette challenges are are hard to escape. I know D Black has no idea what we're talking about, because I know
no
he is
idea
not on the internet like that. So
I'm convinced D Black has like a ghost account somewhere.
Yeah, he got a burner account. We gotta have to show him what the silhouette challenge is.
Man, those were some great moments. And with that, I pass it back to our host. Take it away, fellas.
And that concludes today's best moment and special episode. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to see similar content like this more often, then be sure to let us know in the comments or DM us on Instagram at JerkJaloffCollardPod. We'd appreciate it if you like and share this content. And of course, subscribe to the pod to receive more notifications when our first new episode of the year debuts on January 12th, where I, G Ransom, sit down one-on-one with expat activist, poet, and scholar Tim Swain to discuss expat life in Ghana and why more people of color are considering leaving the United States, as well as what to consider if you're thinking about permanently moving to Africa. Until next time, stay safe out here in these streets, stay blessed, and thank you for keeping it cultured with us for so long. Sincerely, the world's most cultured podcast. Peace. And that concludes today's episode, but that doesn't mean the conversation has to end. As a matter of fact, feel free to check us out at JJC Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter for our post-discussion question following the release of this episode. If you are a Black or minority business owner or professional that would like to be featured on the Rep Yours segment of our show, or a listener with some general feedback for the podcast panel, feel free to shoot us an email at jjcpod@gmail.com. As always, likes and comments are always appreciated. Be sure to subscribe or follow to be notified when the next episode releases. And until then, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.